What we're witnessing is nothing short of historic. The systematic dismantling of the deep state apparatus that has operated in the shadows for decades. A bombshell email obtained by investigative journalist King Solomon reveals that former CIA Director Mike Morell asking John Brennan to assist with, quote, coordination with the Biden campaign during the 2020 elections. Let that sink in. A CIA director potentially coordinating with a political campaign to influence an American election. If proven true, this could be the biggest scandal in American political history. A literal deep state coup against the rightful president of the United States. Even mainstream figures like Stephen A. Smith are waking up to reality. Smith recently went on air to blast Democrats for lying about FBI informants being present on January 6th, lamenting that, quote, once again, Republicans were right. This is a seismic shift in the narrative, an admission from a non-conservative voice that the right has been correct all along about government infiltration and manipulation. Meanwhile, social media censorship continues as videos exposing corruption are mysteriously deleted from platforms. While the deep state operatives work behind the scenes to manipulate government pharmaceutical companies have secretly suppressed natural pain solutions. Conolidine, the only clinically proven drug-free compound that optimizes your body's endorphins, has been kept from mainstream knowledge despite 14 years of research. And just as government agencies coordinated against American interests, Big Pharma has coordinated to keep you dependent on their addictive solutions. Over 1 million Americans have discovered this conspiracy-breaking alternative that provides full body relief without side effects or dependency. The constitutional crisis extends to healthcare freedom. So experience what they don't want you to know about at tricono.com/NNN. It's linked down below for less than $1 a day. And we thank our sponsors for keeping this show going. Okay, we've got a lot to get into. We got this. This is just 24 hours ago. Project Veritas posting this. The enemy of humanity. Real Robert says the enemy in this, the enemy of humanity, CNN busted on camera, admitting coordinating with the Democrats. CNN coverage of Representative Matt Gaetz is pure propaganda. Let's check this out.
What's the mechanism of use propaganda?
Oh no,
Okay, can you define propaganda? Like, I think I know, but like, how is it? What's the mechanism?
If the agenda, say, is to like get like Matt Gaetz right now, he's like this Republican, like he's a problem for the Democratic Party because he's so conservative, right? And he can cause a lot of hiccups in passing of laws. So it would be great for the Democratic Party to get him out. So we're going to keep running those stories to keep hurting him and make it so that it can't be buried and like just, settled outside of court and just like, if we keep pushing that, it's helping us. That's propaganda. It's helping us in some way.
So there you have it right there. That's a Charlie Chester, CNN technical director, caught on an undercover video explaining how CNN works to create propaganda to help the Democrats. And here is the damning email obtained by King Solomon, CIA Director Mike Morell, asking CIA Director John Brennan if he can assist with coordination with the Biden campaign in the overthrow of the United States government during the November 2020 elections. Holy cow.
The Hunter Biden laptop was a short while ago. Just the News obtained this email. This is a very important email. It comes from the former CIA Director Mike Morell. Yes, the guy that organized that letter from the 51 intelligence professionals who tried to fake you into thinking that the Hunter Biden laptop was Russian disinformation when it wasn't. It is between him and John Brennan, one of the signatories. You know who John Brennan is? He was Obama's CIA director, right? He's the guy that told Obama, hey, Hillary Clinton is doing a dirty trick on Donald Trump called Russia collusion. Well, this is just before the presidential debate between Donald Trump and Joe Biden. Hunter Biden's laptop is flinging out there. This is what Mike Morell, former CIA director, tells his successor, John Brennan, hey, sign this letter because I'm, quote, trying to give the campaign, particularly during the debate on Thursday, a talking point. to push back on Trump on this issue. A man with a security clearance, a man with the title of CIA director, knew that he wasn't creating an intelligence product, a mere civic duty with 51 people. He was trying to create a political moment. Damning evidence. We'll try to find out if Congress has this letter, but this is a very important piece. It is the ultimate proof that what went out on that letter was a political dirty trick coordinated with the Biden campaign. A short while.
Oh, that's so bad. But at least we have the information and it's getting out there. We're bringing it to you. Here's Robbie Starbuck 24 hours ago. Stephen A. Smith goes off on Democrats for lying about the FBI having informants involved in J6 and laments that once again, Republicans were right. I love videos like this because it shows you that there are people and influential people on the left that are starting to wake up.
To have gone to the FBI had at least 26 confidential informants on the ground when the Capitol was stormed on January 6, 2021. The report says most of the informants engaged in illegal activity during the chaos. The Justice Department says only 3 of its 26 informants present had been instructed to observe potential domestic terrorist suspects on the day of the riot. The rest of the 23 appear to have gone to the Capitol on their own accord. Upon hearing news of the report, Vice President-elect J.D. Vance posted the following on X, quote, "For those keeping score at home, this was labeled a dangerous conspiracy theory months ago," end quote. Didn't hear anything about that for the election. Didn't hear anything about that when the quote-unquote insurrection was broached. I'm really, really sick and tired of every time I turn around finding something else that the Democrats have lied about or downplayed or misrepresented along the way. I mean, I see Republicans like Megyn Kelly or Officer Tatum or Candace Owens or, you know, the Sean Hannitys of the world. You know what I'm getting tired of? You know what I'm getting to the Democratic Party? You know what I'm getting really pissed off about? I'm getting really ticked off at every time they open their mouth about something pertaining to y'all, they seem right. FBI had at least 26.
Oh, yeah, he's not happy that he's getting proven, Republicans getting proven right. Here we have more. This was posted 24 hours ago. It turns out we were living in a constitutional crisis. If people haven't figured out by now, the Democrat Party always accuses the opposition of what they are doing.
But first, can I ask?
This explains why they kept Joe away from the public most of the time.
The president reaches over and he grabs my arm and he says, "The speaker and I just need a couple minutes together. Will y'all just leave us alone?" So everybody leaves and he and I are standing awkwardly in the middle of the Oval Office. And I said, "Mr. President, thanks for the moment. I got some big national security things I need to talk to you about. But first, can I ask you a question? Why did you pause LNG exports to Europe?" And he looks at me stunned and he said, "I didn't do that." And I said, "Yeah."
Yeah. He signed an executive order. Okay, so I'm not going to play the video, but the Democrats they're crashing and burning. This is Bernie Sanders. He hosted a rally yesterday. And during the rally, they had a transgender singer, Laura Jane Grace, and Bernie thanked the singer for the music after performed a degenerate, disgusting, anti-Christian song. And you can see it on your screen, what was sung. Now, I heard the song. I heard multiple different cuts of it. I heard the full version. And the Democrats in the audience were clapping and singing along with the most abhorrent thing, most vulgar thing, cursing and blasphemy. Like, I can't even imagine why Bernie would allow this group to even come in and sing. But after, Bernie thanks him.
LLC for the music. Let me thank the University of Wisconsin Parkside for the venue. Let me thank Kinsella and Pulse LLC for the music. Laura Jane Grace for the music. Lori, Ellen, Randy, and Congressman Mark Buchan for their great remarks.
He's literally thanking them for the most abhorrent song. It's so bad here, I can't even play it. I can't even play it. If you want, you can look it up. I reposted it on my X account. You can watch it. I warn you, it is so nasty. And what's like, I heard it, and because I watched it a couple times, like it got in my head. And I kept hearing those words over and over and over in my head, and it was like nauseating. I couldn't get it out of my head. That's why I don't even want to play it for you guys, but it is horrific. But Bernie Sanders thanking them. Did you see it? Did you see the video? If you did, drop a comment, because I want to see what your thoughts were, because I know how I feel about it. Okay, Vanessa, 24 hours ago, says this video was deleted from Twitter by Elon Musk. Why? It's Rosie O'Donnell. What is going on here?
That's crazy. Because I never liked him.
Oh, really?
If you're 55 and you grew up on Long Island, you know that he's a fake, a phony, and a fraud.
Right.
There was no mystery to me.
Right.
So I didn't have him on ever.
What is it like? What has it been like for you having the president of the United States criticize your physical appearance? I mean,
Well, not only my physical appearance, everything. My sexuality, my parenting, my wife. Like, he went really batshit crazy.
What is it about you that...
Okay, I'm not even going to give her any more airtime. Okay, whatever. In case you're wondering why eggs are so expensive right now, are you curious? Listen.
Joe, just after the election in November and December specifically, Joe Biden ordered the murder of over 145 million innocent hens nationwide. Hens, if you didn't know, lay eggs. The official line after the fact from the Biden White House was that the hens had to go because of the bird flu. And I just think it's interesting that all of this happened after Donald Trump won the election. They did this after. It's almost like Joe Biden knew that doing that would cause egg prices to go up, which they did.
Oh, it was strategic. Without question, a strategic move by the Biden administration so that people could see it at the grocery store and they could go and blame Trump without any knowledge of what Joe Biden actually did. Here we have Megyn Kelly talking about losing a friend over politics. Have you lost a friend over politics? I know how that feels.
So I was like, I lost a friend recently. You did? Over politics. And it was an upsetting evening where I was like, whoa, what's happening here? And then I had to tell you the next day I was over it. So I was amazing. Yeah, because I was like, this person has shown me who they are. Like I've received new information, which is this person prizes politics over our friendship. And I didn't know that prior to last night. So that's a gift for me to know. And this is not the right person for me because I am a very political person now. Right. You know, I'm a very opinionated, kind of can't avoid my opinions if you're online, you know, and following me on any social media. So that's not the one for me. I lost a friend recently. You did? Over politics. And
yeah, not surprising. Not surprising at all. Here we have liberal tear creator. The greatest case for demonic activity is the Democrat Party.
Not very religious at all. Listen, the greatest case for demonic activity, and you know me, I'm very, very pragmatic, and I don't get into all the woo-woo stuff. Yeah. I'm not very religious at all. But the greatest case for the devil is the Democratic Party. I've never in my life, every time I look over there and I wonder if God's real sometimes, the fact that the Democratic Party exists and I see some of the things that they're a part of and the things that they stand behind and push, the people groups that they exploit is the greatest case for the devil, which in turn is the greatest case for the existence of God. There is evil in that party and they're under the influence of demonic powers.
Under the influence of demonic powers. That's clear. I mean, if you watch that Bernie Sanders video, that Bernie Sanders rally, then you'll clearly know what I'm talking about. Here we have more. This is from the Megyn Kelly show, talking about why President Trump is so relatable.
Concerned public. This is why, another thing Democrats don't understand. They don't understand like why this like billionaire who was given money from his dad is so relatable. Well, why don't you listen to him talk? I've had conversations with like rich people, okay? They don't talk like that.
yeah.
They're incredibly buttoned up, a lot of them, and concerned publicly about their image, and they're very deliberate about what they say. He don't give a fuck.
No.
When the Indian reporter was asking him the question, and he was just dibble-dabbling, and then Trump let him finish and go, I don't understand what the hell that guy's talking about. You know who says that? The guy on the construction site.
And he called her Pocahontas at the State of the Union.
This is how working class people talk.
Yeah.
This is like what we do. This is how we communicate with one another. So when we see it happen, we're like, oh wow, I relate to that human being. This is why.
Okay, we've got to continue with more. Here is Secretary Wright talking about growing our energy production. This is how you bring the prices down.
That huge, absolutely. There actually are still pipeline gas imports from Russia into Europe too. The southern pipeline still remains. So yeah, I think Europe saw that huge mistake to bet so much of their energy future on a very uncertain supplier that's become a significant adversary. I think the answer to a lot of this is make sure your energy suppliers are your allies and they're strong and they're reliable. So the rapid ramp up of U.S. LNG exports into Europe have taken about half of the gas that was displaced from Russia from the United States. Yeah. Norway's ramped up and some other sources as well. But that's what the United States is all about. We're going to grow our energy production, grow our LNG exports, grow our trade, grow our connection with Europe. I think this is a stable, secure supply, not only economically good for the U.S. and Europe, but it's good for world peace. It's good for stability. That's a lot of this administration. Grow American energy exports to our allies.
Trade and commerce. That's how you continue to have peace. Kerry Bonet. Keep going, Democrats. What's this about?
Of this new well, I think you've got to be very careful here. I really do. You've got three white people sitting here discussing the experiences of this new executive director at the DNC. None of us have been in his shoes, and I think all of us would probably agree that the black experience in America has not been all that great. So I am far less offended by some of the things he's done historically than maybe some others are.
Well, Daniel, perhaps Democrats can listen to the message that the black voters, Hispanic voters, and beyond sent in the last election. I'll give you a final thought.
Yeah, and just middle American voters. My organization started because of coal miners in West Virginia and rural energy voters. They voted for Bill Clinton back in the day. They voted for Barack Obama. Now they vote for Donald Trump. Their politics haven't changed. Their leaders who represent their parties have changed dramatically. And if those leaders want those voters back, those rural American workers back, they're going to have to try to come and find them.
Daniel, Rick, appreciate the conversation.
They're going to have to come and find them. Yeah, but a lot of those folks are gone for good because they saw what happened. Here we have on Trending Politics, this was a couple days ago, CNN senior data reporter Henry Enton ripped Democrats for not standing up when Trump awarded DJ Daniel honorary USS status.
In that very...
I have no idea which direction.
Sir Michael, with all due respect, you think Democrats are going to...
Oh, absolutely.
Wait, let me say this. You think Democrats should applaud Donald Trump when he talks about law enforcement?
No, but a kid with cancer...
Stop. Let me just... No, excuse me. In that very chamber where Donald Trump's goons tried to harm the people that were sitting there and applauding Donald Trump, you want Democrats to take advice from Donald Trump about law enforcement?
It's not about taking advice, Julie. Some things should just simply be above politics. Right. And those are three instances where Democrats could have simply applauded.
I'm sorry.
You don't have to like the president to say these are good things.
This president is cutting funding for childhood cancer. You want to know what he's cutting funding for? The NIH, the CDC. He's got a wacko as the head of HHS. And you want to talk about it. I'm sorry. I'm very happy for that kid. I'm very happy for that kid. I'm glad that his lifelong dream came true and he became, a cop or whatever he wanted to become. But the bottom line is that all it does is accentuate the horrors that Donald Trump is imposing on kids with cancer.
Democrats seemed pathetic and they seemed petulant in their behavior last night. And if they think that's going to help them go into midterms, I say keep going.
But what about the optics, Michael? Because I know that you look at strategy. And if their constituents, which is basically half of the country. I mean, look at Donald Trump did not win in a landslide when you look at the numbers at the end, right, Harry?
No, he won what, by 1.52 percentage points?
But you know what? We define a mandate as a victory. A win is a win.
A win is a win.
Goes to spoils.
But I'm just saying that there is a half of the country and half of the voters who rejected him. So if they're standing there.
No, I don't think it was half the voters. Okay, enough of that garbage at CNN. They keep trying to spread their propaganda. We'll keep taking it apart. Here we have Devory Darkins. Congresswoman Laura Gillen of New York was the lone Democrat who stood for the 13-year-old cancer survivor. The lone Democrat. Oh, my.
It's hard to be the only Democrat.
Question, were you surprised when you looked around and saw that you were one of the lone folks doing so among Democrats?
Well, I was a little bit surprised and disappointed. It's hard to be the only Democrat to stand up, but when you have a little boy who just got over brain cancer, the decision to stand was pretty easy for me because I'm glad that he survived brain cancer.
Yeah. And here's more on that Tesla boycott.
Together, because we are going to resist, and we're going to resist together, because nobody can tolerate this.
We will not tolerate a deporter-in-chief.
Enough was enough with the Sieg Heil, the heartfelt autistic salute. So 4 weeks ago, just me and a friend stood outside the service center in Burbank, and the next day there was 4 of us. Last week, we came here and there was 30, and then this week it's just exploding here and across the country. There was like almost 100 here today, and they're all everywhere.
Tesla burns to a crisp. That's the caption on this now viral video of a charred Model 3.
And it's just growing, and Tesla stock is rapidly declining.
New numbers from Tesla show its annual EV sales declined for the first time in more than a decade.
The stock is crashing at the moment. You're watching it live. On the month, you're down, 23%. On the day, I think it's like 7 or 8% down. Oh, geez, now 8%, approaching 9% down.
The organizers of the Glendale boycott rally say it's more than just about Elon's political affiliation. And that Doge aside, he's genuinely mentally unfit to be running billion-dollar publicly traded companies.
This guy supposedly runs the Boring Company, Tesla, SpaceX, Starlink, and he's tweeting 200 times a day and never sleeping and taking ketamine. He's just been radicalized. His politics have clearly shifted, and we've seen it happen with all our friends and loved ones.
Yeah, Elon derangement syndrome is real. So the evidence has become overwhelming. While politicians gaslit the American public with claims of conspiracy theories, they're actively engaging the very conspiracies they denied. As one said, it turns out we were really living in a constitutional crisis. It's just not the one the media was selling. The pattern is clear. Democrats consistently accuse their opponents of the very activities they themselves are engaged in. It's psychological projection, but on a massive scale. And this revelation about CIA coordination with the Biden campaign adds another piece of the puzzle of election integrity concerns. It raises profound questions about the neutrality of our intelligence agencies and whether they've been weaponized against the American people. But the good news is the deep state's grip is loosening. But make no mistake, these entrenched powers won't surrender control without a fight. So I ask you tonight, if our intelligence agencies were willing to coordinate with a political campaign, what other operations might they be running against American citizens? Has the conspiracy theory label been used to shield actual conspiracies? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And stop being a victim of information control. Get some Next News gear and support the channel. It's linked down below, shop.nextnewsnetwork.com. You get hats and t-shirts and mugs and even a huge Next News banner. Yeah, support the channel, and we'll love you for it.